BlockFi has officially gone bankrupt. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and joined the long list of these crypto companies that have filed for bankruptcy in just the last year alone. And this didn't really have an effect on the market and prices of Bitcoin or even any other crypto because it was pretty well thought of that this was going to happen. As soon as they paused withdrawals, I think everyone kind of figured they're going bankrupt, so just prepare for that now. So the news coming out that they went bankrupt isn't really a big deal. Everyone kind of expected it to already happen and thought it was already on its way when they paused withdrawals. They sent out this email right here kind of talking about how they're doing Chapter 11 bankruptcy and they need to do what's best for the clients and their customers and all this stuff. But this kind of summarizes the whole thing, this part here, talking about since the pause, our team has explored every strategic option and alternative available to us and has remained laser focused on our primary objective of doing the best we can for our clients. These Chapter 11 cases will enable BlockFi to stabilize the business and provide BlockFi with the opportunity to consummate a reorganization plan that maximizes value for all stakeholders, including our valued clients. So, the cookie cutter response that every single other person and crypto company has said. Celsius said this, Voyager said this, maybe FTX even has said this. So it's not something that's reassuring, really. If you have money on BlockFi, it's probably best to write it off at zero. And if you get anything back, just consider it a little bonus, like some bonus money that you were expecting not to get back, but you ended up getting it back. Because in these bankruptcies, obviously nothing is concrete, nothing's insured, and if they don't have the money to pay it out, then they just don't have the money. So it's something that could very easily happen. They were connected to FTX, and when that collapsed, they lost a large chunk of their money. They tried saying that the majority of their funds were not stored on FTX, but the language they use there is very important by saying majority, meaning anything less than 50% could have been stored on FTX because technically not a majority, and they wouldn't be technically lying. And for this bankruptcy, these are the types of bankruptcies that they're doing right now. There's Chapter 7, Chapter 11. Not an expert by any means, but this is kind of the basic look of it. Chapter 7 is basically the business is completely going under, going to dissolve, liquidate all of their assets that they can to pay off creditors and push the money, but then the business won't exist after. Chapter 11, you can see it's kind of restructuring debt, and the big part is the business can reemerge as a healthy business. So I guess there's technically a chance that BlockFi reemerges as a healthy business and goes about its way. The stakeholders or the shareholders would be the ones who really suffer, who invested in this kind of private equity type stuff. They would be the ones who get hit the hardest from this, which I guess they should because they're the ones who took the risk to fund it. But I do doubt that they kind of emerge as a super healthy company. I mean, we've been waiting a long time for Voyager to go through this, for Celsius to go through it. We're going to be waiting a long time for FTX to go through it. Now we just got to wait for, is there more contagion coming? Because all these companies were connected. FTX alone, I think, has like 130 subsidiary companies that are going down with it. And they had 1 million creditors, so 1 million people who they had money out to or owed money to. So this has a big contagion effect, and I'm sure we are going to see more bodies come to the surface as time goes on. And we have some of the numbers coming out of BlockFi from here, talking about BlockFi filing for bankruptcy. The company indicated that it had more than 100,000 creditors with liabilities and assets ranging from $1 billion to $10 billion. I think the number is about 4 to 5 billion. That's what's rumored and talked about. That's the amount of money that they have for creditors. So that's the hole in their balance sheet. And the question becomes that 4 to 5 billion, is $1 billion, $2 billion owed to a different company that can't handle that hole, and then they go under, and then they have outstanding liabilities to other companies that they go under. So this contagion effect can really take hold, and more companies are definitely going to go bankrupt at this time. This definitely isn't the last one we're going to see. And for one alone, they had the outstanding $275 million loan to FTX US, which we know just went bankrupt. And that was the American arm of SBF's now bankrupt empire. So $275 million that they loaned out of customer funds, because that's how they did their business. They loaned out the money to FTX US. probably for a 10%, rate, to give 7% to the people who are giving them the money on the platform, keep 3% for BlockFi, and pocket that as profit. But that only works until it doesn't, when things like FTX US and FTX collapse, go bankrupt. Now that 275 million, it's gone. It's just gone. And if you can't handle that hit, then your company goes under, which is what we're seeing right now. And just a crazy stat from this is that one person, the largest client on BlockFi, had $28 million on BlockFi, which hopefully that is someone who's like a 100 millionaire or billionaire who has money on there where they can afford to take this loss. Because if you have your whole life savings on a platform like BlockFi, it's extremely risky and extremely not smart to do that. And just to add to the rumors going around, we can see, in July, we all know FTX swooped in to help BlockFi stave off bankruptcy by extending a $400 million revolving credit facility and offering to potentially buy the lender. So this is something that did absolutely happen. They were out here being like the central bank of crypto. That's what everyone called them. And then FTX collapsed. But the reason that FTX did this, or what people are rumored and speculating that they did this, is that they reached out to Voyager and BlockFi to bail them out, is because even at that time, BlockFi and Voyager had a lot of FTT token, which is what caused the death spiral of FTX that we saw recently. And if they went under at that time, that would have pushed the FTT token to go under $22 and cause the death spiral. So they had to bail them out and look strong. Otherwise, their entire business would have unwound right there. And it just turns out a few months later, CZ decided to dump his tokens, and the death spiral started then. But that does bring into effect Binance and them doing a very similar thing that FTX was doing previously, and maybe they aren't actually in such a great position that a lot of people might think that they are. But that is pure speculation. Who knows what goes on there? But obviously right now, not your keys, not your coins. The biggest thing to learn from right now, and not keep your money anywhere. I don't care if it's on Binance, Coinbase, Gemini, a super trusted exchange. If it's on an exchange, you should expect to lose it all. If it's there, you should take it off, put it in cold storage, self-custody, and then you're good. You don't have to worry about anything. But I'm sure this is just the beginning of the saga for crypto and these crypto companies collapsing. We'll see a lot more people start to come forward, a lot more companies start to fall down, and it'll probably just get a little bit crazier as this bear market grinds on. But it's going to be interesting to see who makes it out and who is actually running a pretty good business. But that's gonna do it for this video. As always, I'm gonna smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in my next